Good morning, class. Today we're going to be working on making our slab mugs. Each of us is going to start off with a slab of clay like this and a piece of paper which will be kind of our outline or our guide like this, our stencil. So as you can see, most of our slab mugs stencils are going to be too big for our slab mug. So what we'll have to do is roll it out. I'm going to take a moment and with my roller pin I'm going to show you how to roll it out. Got to stand up using your whole body weight. Sometimes the paper towel might rip and that's okay. Whoops, I did that one. Flip it around. I like to check and see, is it big enough? Is there any areas I might need to? How can I arrange it to make it fit? And it looks like mine is good. It fits all the way on here. I don't want to make it too thin when I'm rolling it out. Look at these edges. That one's almost getting too thin. You can feel it, whereas this edge is too thick. So therefore I might want to even roll that edge out a little bit more. There we go. So you put your paper in the middle, take your needle tool, and trace around the edges. Once you got that done, you can peel this off and you're basically done with this piece of paper. Put it in the middle of your table. And I've got this outline. Now, it's easiest if I just cut to the edge and take off one piece at a time and put this in the middle of my table. Don't crinkle it up though, because you may need this for another part. So on the back, when I rolled it out, it kind of got all torn up. You do want to throw that stuff away, so do your best to carefully just kind of peel it off. Some tools can be helpful too. The paper towel is necessary, otherwise it would get stuck to your table. I also have some cloths as well that we could try out. They kind of get a weird texture on your thing. Your clay can sometimes get stuck to them as well. But just take a moment, peel it off. It's not too hard. I'll finish mine later so you don't have to watch me do the whole thing. But on the other side it looks like this. If you don't get all the clay off, or the paper off, it's fine too. We'll just put that on the inside of your mug and you won't be able to see that part and it'll burn away in the kiln. I'm just kind of smoothing it out with my finger a little bit. It'd be best to get maybe another paper towel as well, if yours get torn up like mine does, to put it on top of. I'm just going to use a piece of paper for now. Alright. This way it doesn't get stuck to the table because you can always peel the paper underneath off. This is going to be the edge of your cup. So now I'm going to set it up in order to start attaching it. So I want to attach the edges of this cup like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch right here, and I'm going to be scratching right here. Okay? But I don't just do a scratch like that. I have to do proper scoring technique, where I go side diagonal one direction, diagonal the other, two different directions. Over here, same thing. Really making sure it's really well scored. And then I get to add the slip. I got my bucket and my paintbrush. I'm adding some slip. Not too much, you don't want it to get too soggy. And now we're just sticking it together and using just a little bit of pressure to put our mug together. You can do a little bit of smoothing with your thumb in order to get rid of that bump if you want to. If you want to keep the bump there, that's just fine. You don't have to smooth it away at all. We'll do more with that area of our mug next class when it's a little bit stronger. Right now it's super weak, so don't worry about it too much. I'm just smoothing it a little bit over. Alright, you can still see it on the inside right there, and that's okay. Alright, this is the first big step done. The next step is I want to get my bottom of my cup so all my liquid doesn't come out. To do that, you'll need another slab. So I've got this chunk of clay. I'm going to move this to the side. I'm going to roll out this chunk of clay so it's big enough to cover the top of my mug. Rolling it out so it's about as tall as my tool. Sometimes it's good to have that down there so I don't make it too skinny. There we go. Let's see. Very nice thickness, not too thick, not too thin. I'm going to place my cup on top of my clay and trace around it. I'm going to do it lightly first because my cup is not exactly circular right now, so I want to see what this looks like. As I expected, it's not exactly circular. So I'm going to even out some of those edges because I'm going to try to make this more circular later. So I'm going to make it a little bit more circular than I traced it out to be. And that I think looks good. So now I'm going to go all the way down. Before I just did it super light so I could still adjust it. Now I'm going to go all the way down and cut it out. Putting my extra clay in the middle. That's why it's good not to roll up your extra slab, is it makes it super easy if it's not all scrunched up. But I can't just stick it on there. No, no, no. You know what we're going to have to do? Scratch and attach. Do some scoring. Here. I don't want my paper in there. Two ways. And down here. There we go. Really, really tear it up. If you don't do this correctly, your mug will fall apart, and it is so sad, or it will leak liquid because then it's not properly attached. So I'm going to take my water and just put it in, filling those edges very lightly. I'm barely touching my clay, it just wants to soak right in. Putting it on the top too. And now I carefully flip it and stick it down. Now once again, this joint right here that we've just made, this attachment, is very fragile. Make sure you're doing it on a piece of paper. I've had one person's already get stuck. So we don't want it to get stuck onto like a tray or the table. And that is all we're really going to focus on for today. Tomorrow we'll be looking at attaching handles. Remember, we'll be scratching and attaching every single place we put a handle on and adding other details as well. This is the base area of our mug.